Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nath if you're new here. So previously I made a video on how to write an essay, so how to structure it and how to structure each individual paragraph. If you haven't seen that, go check that video out and then watch this video because I'm going to be referring to it quite a lot in this video. But today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to end that essay. How are you going to do the conclusion, create that fire conclusion so that when the examiner reads your whole essay, they're like, this guy's a genius, I'm going to give him a top mark, I'm going to give him an A star, I'm going to give him, what do you have nowadays, 7s? 6, what's the highest one you get?
9.
9, you're going to get that 9, yeah? So if you look over here, I've got the broad structure, the macro structure of your essay. So you've got introduction, first analysis point, evaluation, second analysis point, second evaluation, and so on until you get to your conclusion. As you saw in my previous video, I have a micro structure for how you can tackle each one of these, and that is, I say I have, it's not like I didn't make it up, it's quite a common thing, but I'm just teaching you guys it. There is another one that I was taught by a tutor actually back in the day in economics, but I know this structure works for other subjects as well, not just economics. She taught me this structure and it's really handy. However, I've never ever seen anyone else talk about this structure. I think she might have actually made this structure up. If anyone else has heard of it, please do comment down below because I'm curious myself. I've never taught anyone this structure, I've kept it as my secret weapon. Now I'm going to share it to you guys, and I'm sharing it to my sister who's holding the camera. She's doing A-levels. Okay, so boom. Conclusion, let's zoom into this. So when you're writing a conclusion, there's one key thing that I need to tell you. Do not introduce any new arguments. You've probably heard this before, because if you're introducing a new argument, it's not a conclusion, it's like another point. So in the conclusion, you're basically summarizing the key takeaways from the essay, and you're kind of saying what it depends on. That's kind of a spoiler. So the structure that I was taught when writing a conclusion goes like this: O, P, S, and then underneath that, D-O-F. So let me just quickly run through what each one of these parts stands for. So first part, it stands for opinion. So opinion. The second part here, which is the P, stands for problem. Problem. Make sure you're taking notes because you're definitely going to find this handy. The S stands for solution. And then this part here stands for depends on factors. I'll explain that after I've told you about this bit. So you know throughout your essay you would have said those points that I referred to earlier, and you got your evaluation, and you would have said another point, etc. These points, one of them you got to support. One of them's got to be your main opinion, but you never say in my opinion. You got to structure it from like third person kind of thing. So you got to say placing the above into consideration, or overall to conclude the essay, or something like that. I used to always say placing the above into consideration, and then I'll refer back to whichever point I agreed with the most, or whichever point I felt had the strongest argument. I would go with that. Okay, so I'll say placing. Don't everyone write placing the above into consideration, because you're going to look like parrots, you know. Blah blah blah. Just reiterate one of the points you've said earlier. Literally keep this part here as like a sentence, hot if that. Just keep it nice and short, nice and sweet. So placing the above into consideration, blah 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 blah. Yeah. However, then you're going to identify a problem with that, which you should have identified within this, according to the PIL. Because remember, one of the E's stands for evaluation. But if you didn't evaluate it within the point, you would have had your evaluation point anyways. So just take one of the things that you think is the biggest limitation of this opinion of yours, identify it. Again, just keep it short and sweet. That's the problem with it. And then finally, you're just going to say, although it's not a big deal because there is this solution, or overall it's not a big deal because you could implement this. So if it's for economics, you could just say, however, implementing this policy, or, you know, I don't know, if it's to do with the macroeconomy, you could talk about automatic stabilizers, all that kind of stuff. You people study economics should hopefully know what I'm talking about. So yeah, those kind of things are like the solution. So in hindsight, it doesn't really matter. And then you're going to say, depends on factors. This is the part that makes you sound really smart, like you've considered everything. So when it comes to depends on factors, I like to do 3 to 4 of them. Depends on factors could be stuff like time period, stakeholders who are involved, budget. There's just loads of things that you could say, oh, it depends on this. Depends on factors really vary depending on what A level or what subject you're talking about. So for economics, there are just so many things that you could say it depends on. It depends on microeconomy, macroeconomy, like I said earlier, stakeholders, time period, all that kind of stuff. Ceteris paribus. There's so many things you could talk about in economics. If it's sociology, it depends on the school of thought you're adopting. There's a lot of things you could talk about. Just get a handful of them, maybe make yourself a little acronym to help you remember the kind of depends on factors that apply for any essay that they kind of throw at you, because to be honest, most depends on factors are broad and they're just kind of like ways of saying, oh, but you should consider this, but you should consider this before making your final judgment. But the fact that you've mentioned that shows that you're a broad thinker, you've considered everything, and that's going to really impress whoever is marking your paper, because it shows you're not taking everything at face value. Okay, so to conclude, my conclusion technique: opinion, problem, solution, depends on factors. Simple as that. Just remember that. Keep it short and sweet. Remember, about a sentence, about a sentence, about a sentence, depends on factors, about 3 to 4 points. Simple as that. Summarize. Don't introduce anything new. If you want to introduce something new though, just depends on factors, but that's not really saying anything new. You're just saying it depends on this, it depends on that, so it's not a big deal. These things here, please say it before in your essay, before you introduce new things, because they're just going to be like, why is this guy throwing random new shit in? Right, you got to link it to that question, as I said in the previous video. That is it, guys. I know everyone hasn't got that long to their exams. I haven't got long to my exams anyways, so I'm probably not going to be uploading as frequently. However, if you do want me to post helpful videos like this, because these are really quick to film and edit, as you can see, they're pretty basic, I'm more than happy to make these ones. So let me know if you like this, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, make more of these, and yeah, I'll try and do what I can. Peace. Each individual paragraph was just going off on some random tangent. They were talking about some